Welcome back. This is part 2 of last week's podcast featuring Kelson and Nolan. Today, we will be discussing work ethics, personal goals, and Puss in Boots 2. But mostly, Puss in Boots 2. Enjoy.
Yeah, no, phones definitely waste a lot of our time, and I think if you got rid of the apps that are time wasters, I think it would change what you do in your day a lot.
Yeah.
And it, it would change what type of progress you make in your day.
I've put it down a lot, and I had like a realization like a week and a half ago that I don't know why I didn't have, but it was like I've been working all this time because I want to do animation, and it was like, why don't I just actually start animating? Like, why have I been waiting like near a decade of like, I don't know, like training? Like there's some kind of like end goal that I can get to where it's like, oh, now I can start animating something.
Right.
But I could just start it now and learn as I go. You know?
And that's the one thing right there. You haven't even started your training.
No, yeah.
Because you haven't even started the task.
I know how to draw pretty well. I can do people. I know the basics of animation, but I've never actually done it that much. So it's like, why don't I actually just start it? So I started 3D modeling the other day.
I saw that.
I 3D modeled
on Instagram.
Yeah, I 3D modeled that little dude up there. Not all the way. I'm trying to figure out techniques right now of like
the wireframe and whatnot, or what?
Yeah, just like how to make. Right now, my biggest thing is how to make a 3D model look good, and then how to make a good-looking 3D model look, I guess, better, like stylized. How do I make it look not like it's just a regular-ass 3D model? How do I make it look like it's a 2D drawing? Or
there's character to it.
Yeah, or there's like cell shading or whatever. That's the thing I want to get away from. There's a lot of very, very talented people out there. Very talented and very nice-looking movies and artists and work and whatnot. There's a lot of sameness to a lot of animation, a lot of Pixar's stuff.
It's all the same.
Yeah, and it's really weird. It's really sad because now that 3D is the standard, you very rarely get a 2D animated film or like a stop motion film, even less, I would say. Everything kind of looks like Pixar, where things are cartoony, but everything is very realistically textured. Like
it's realistic. Cartoony, baby.
Realistically cartoony. Like you'll have like Linguini from Ratatouille. This is a bad example because I really love Ratatouille and how it looks. But like Linguini, like how he's like cartoony proportioned, but he has like individual eyelashes and like every hair is like an individual hair and stuff like that. I feel like that works sometimes, but sometimes it clashes. And it's definitely
it worked.
And it's become the style for everything. Like all the Despicable Me movies do that, where like you got like a really cartoony looking character like Gru, but then you zoom in on their face and they got pores and shit, and it's like it kind of clashes. It's weird. I'm glad that Spider-Verse did well because it showed that you can take 3D and make it look however you want it to, really.
Right.
Because now we're getting movies like Puss in Boots 2, that the whole appeal of it was to make it look like the concept art and make it look like a storybook. And have you seen any of the animation for that?
I haven't watched it.
We should watch it. It's really good, honestly. But they do, I can't remember what it's called right now. It's going to drive me crazy. They do the thing where they drop the frame rate on purpose to make it look like it's 2D animation. So instead of it being like super smooth and realistic, it's keyframes, and it's specific poses to make it look more dynamic, like a 2D animation thing would be.
Right.
Because the whole thing with 2D animation is what really mattered was the poses, and then you would animate in between that. And you'd only have a certain amount of animation you could do in between because you were limited to 24 frames per second, sometimes 12 frames per second, because more frames per second means more money. You know?
Right.
So you'd have a lot of things like especially like anime. They animate on what's called twos, right? Which is two frames for every like one frame, essentially, like 2 drawings per 1 frame of animation. So it's technically 24 frame per second film,
But it's 12.
but in order to save money, you just draw one pose that's 1-2 frames, next one 1-2 frames, and so it looks a little choppier sometimes, but it also has that appeal of every pose has to really count. You have to really make sure you're getting all the energy out of every pose. But anyways, that's what Puss in Boots goes
intriguing.
for. And it doesn't do that all the time. When they're just like having like dialogue, it's the regular like 24 or 30 frames per second. But then when they get in a fight scene and like the frames like drop, it gets really cool. I don't know.
Okay.
And now there's that new Ninja Turtles movie coming out.
Know.
It's called Mutant Mayhem, and it's animated to look kind of like concept art also, where everything is like uneven, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you'll have like a New York City like sewer cap, like they have in Ninja
Ovalized.
Turtles, you know. But like but it's like a little ovally, and like the lines are
It's
like
chunky.
kind of skewed. Yeah, it's like nothing really lines up properly. Everything. It almost looks like gouache mixed with like claymation, if that makes sense. It's really weird, but it's really cool that more studios are now like, oh, we don't have to just do like one style because it was popular. We could do everything. We can do anything. And hopefully it doesn't just become a thing of studios trying to copy Spider-Verse now. Hopefully it becomes a thing of understanding, okay, well, this story would best suit this art style over this art style, you know?
No, absolutely. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. All that to say, I want to make something that looks different than a lot of things. I don't even remember what we were talking about earlier is the thing with work ethic.
That was our initial thought.
We had like an initial thought and it was going well, but we were talking about work ethic.
No, we bounced to Puss in Boots.
And we bounced to Puss in Boots. Yeah. I could just talk about Puss in Boots for like an entire podcast. Which is funny. I know it doesn't seem that interesting all the time, but like it's the thing that's like got me excited right now for some reason.
It's the thought behind the creators of it.
Yeah.
It's
the artism, as Trey calls it.
Artism?
It's the artism. But yeah, work ethic. Like, now that I feel like I have a direction, I feel like I could work on that direction infinitely until I hit a wall that needs to be torn down. You know what I mean?
Torn down, but you need a solution to either get around it or over it.
Drill
or
a little tunnel under it with a spoon.
Yeah,
I don't
whatever
know.
it might be, whether it's the fucking prisoner type way, and you, like you said, you grab that spoon and start digging, baby, or you hop over it like you're crossing the border, you know?
Yeah, if it's a good day,
or walk around it like you're crossing the border.
on a great day, you just smash right through it. On a bad day, yeah, it's the spoon and you're digging underneath it, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, work ethic is definitely a thing that I feel like you and I have pretty good work ethics, honestly. And I know it's different definition for everyone, but
Absolutely.
my definition of work ethic is knowing how much work you can put into a thing before you need to stop, I guess, and and the quality of work. How much? That's what I should say. Knowing how much work you can put into something before the quality of your work is compromised, or you need to sleep. You know
Probably
what I mean?
go until you see that quality drop and go, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that would happen a lot. Does that ever happen to you?
It definitely does, and at that point, I'm like, hey, I need to call it quits, and that's when I call it quits. Or that's when I try to call it quits. I mean, that's normally, not genuinely. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's normally what I do. On average, we'll say. But yeah, no, I could agree with that. I mean, quality drops, settle down, reevaluate, either take time to sleep and reevaluate in the sense of, am I getting lazy in what I'm doing, or am I just, that tired and out of it that I can't process what I'm doing? Am I trying to hurry the work? What am I trying to do right now?
Yeah. It's definitely different depending on the situation. I know that there was times where I could like jam on one project for like, I don't know, like 8 hours a day until it was time to go home, and then I would, put down the iPad or whatever I was drawing on and like go home. But there was other times where I would just hit roadblocks like all day. Have you ever had that? Like, I feel like I would like draw like at Dankrite, I would have to draw like most of the backgrounds, a lot of the backgrounds for like the things we were animating on, So my leg. But I feel like I would Kelson and I did leg workouts today, and it's bad. And now we're drinking beer, so everything's
even worse.
Everything's even worse.
Cramping up now.
But yeah, I feel like I would have like, let's say we needed like, on average, like 100 backgrounds for one episode.
Right.
You know? Hey, we need to have this. We need these backgrounds in place so the animators know where to put the characters. You know. We need 50 backgrounds by the end of this week. And it's a 5-day work week. Or we need them by Monday, I should say. And it was Monday. And so Monday to Friday, instead of just doing like one and like doing it until it was done, I would set myself a timer for 10 minutes. And I would rotate between like all 50. I would do one for 10 minutes and then stop and go to another one. And what that would do is by the time you got towards the end of your rotation, and it wouldn't always be all 50, it would usually be like, I would set aside like 10 a day. By the time you got back to that first one in your rotation, you have a completely fresh set of eyes.
Right.
And you'd be like, oh, okay, this tree doesn't look right because this value is all off. Or like, oh, there should be a building over here because it was here in the last shot, you know?
Right.
And it's stuff like that like I found like helped me a lot. I could do on average like 10 or 12, sometimes like 100% complete backgrounds in a day if I was doing
Dear
that.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
hell yeah.
it depended. But like, do you ever have stuff like that? Like, what do you do when you're hitting a wall, you know, in your work?
Keep going. I tend to hit walls often, but I mean, a wall is just a stopping point because you stopped caring or whatever. So you continue with the discipline and go, this is what it has to have done in order to complete the job. And so you do whatever it might take. The other day I had a job that went from, I had to be at the shop at 6 o'clock. So I got to the shop at 6, went out on site by 7, and I'm on site, and we had a job, and we're done by 3 o'clock, right? And then we get to looking at it more, and we go, oh, fuck, like, nothing's right. And so we got to jamming on it. Well, we were there till, like, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Oh.
You know, I hit my wall at 12 o'clock, and I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the job's not done. There still is more. I know what has to be done. I know what I have to do in order to get to that point. So I continued on and, you know, use that discipline thing, you know, oh, this fucking sucks, and then kept working, you know. Like, you know, I didn't want to be there, but I know what it took to get done with the job in order to go home, so I knew what I had to do, and I was going to complete that, whatever it might take, and in order to be done and not have to worry about it the next day and go, oh, is that weld gonna crack, and is everything gonna fall over, and I mean, is this it was a furnace, and it was probably it's called a bead tube. It's at a glass plant.
Oh, you told me
probably 30 to 40 foot tall. It's like, you know, 5 foot in diameter, and it's vertical, and it has 4 legs under it. Well, we had to realign this thing, right? And we had to center it within another part of the furnace that was up on the roof of this building, and we centered it. And then the guy goes, oh, you centered it on the wrong part. And nobody had told us that that was the part we were supposed to center it on. So we had to reevaluate and redo it and center it again, which was just a process in and of itself. So we went and did that. We got it done, you know, 9 o'clock. I saw the end of it, and I knew what the end was. It was going home. It was making a ton of overtime, and it was being happy that I was going home.
Yeah.
So it was worth it. It's beyond worth it, you know. And so, I mean, I think that's kind of the biggest thing with what was it?
That's Doug.
Nice.
Will you let my cat in real quick, please? he's gonna just meow like that. Anyways, yeah, you were saying you were up in this plant where they were misaligned.
Yeah, no. Biggest thing about getting it done was seeing the end game and knowing what it took to get to that end game. So I think the biggest thing with work ethic and motivation is having a dream of some sort, right? So you have this dream, and you see what the end game looks like in your head, and you kind of have to see what it takes to get there. And whatever it might take, you kind of visualize and you discipline yourself, you know, this is what it's going to take to get to that dream. And if I don't do these things, then I won't ever get there.
Yeah.
You know, because you're not going to get lucky. I mean, you'll get lucky in certain things, but it's not like it's going to be the decision-making thing. You're going to have to make precise, executed decisions that decide these things, you know. I'm going to go
I agree.
do this right here in order to make this happen, you know, and that's the next step in the plan. And the plan's, God only knows how many steps, 1,001 steps or whatever. But to do the step by step to get to that point, you have to have that discipline in order to go, this is what it'll take to get me here. This is what I'm going to sacrifice. I might not be happy for a while, but I'm going to get to the point that I want to be at, and then I'll be happy, and I'll be beyond happy. I'll be happy that I did that within this limited time of life.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I get that. Like, in an ideal world, of course, you would just be like, I want to be this. And they'd be like, okay, here you go.
Yeah, here's your title. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll train you everything you need for it. But, like, we do not live in an ideal world.
No,
and
absolutely not.
Unfortunately, I don't know when we'll live in an ideal world.
Never.
So, I think it's good to not bank on luck in most situations.
Right.
Don't just be like, I hope I get lucky. I hope I get noticed. Like, get noticed. Put yourself out there.
Make sure you get noticed. Yeah, whether it's
Do
good
that
or bad.
shit,
Publicity is publicity, whether it's good or bad. You know, people are going to say, oh, fuck this guy. The Island Boys got huge. Yeah, they dropped off. Well, I mean, they're bound to drop off, obviously. But the thing is, it was all negative attention, and they were still huge, and they're making loads of money off of it. So we're kind of the dumbasses for going, this guy's getting all this negative attention, yet they're making loads of money off of it. They wasted all the money, so that's their downfall or whatever, but...
We're the Island Boys.
Oh, dude, they're fucked up little, you know, they should have been a cum stain, you know, rolling down their mama's leg, but that didn't happen, so instead they were, popular on TikTok.
Island Boys? Oh my god, who are these children?
Island Boys, baby.
What did they do to these kids?
I'm trying to make...
I've never seen these guys. They look like X-Men villains or something.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think anyone's hair should look like that.
No, I don't think so either.
Not those guys, certainly. I shouldn't say nobody, but not those guys. Anyways, yeah, sorry. I'm gonna have to do a rabbit hole on the Island Boys now.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I agree with most of that. I would say, like, it definitely is a thing of you just gotta make it happen.
Right.
It's definitely going to be harder for some people.
Oh yeah,
some people are just going to be in positions where it's going to be more difficult to get to that spot. But
I can agree to a certain degree.
Yeah, and I think you can still do it. I don't see why you can't do it.
Yeah, there's no reason you can't. If you're not willing to take that risk, there's no reward.
Mm-hmm.
Just simple as.
No, I totally agree with that.
I think the biggest thing that gets to people is just having excuses.
Oh, excuses.
In my opinion, and you know, some people have this, that, the other going on with them, and shit's hard. You know, you have emotions. You're human. You're going to have emotions. Sometimes you have to turn those off and go, look, you know, I'm not going to be able to face these emotions right now because this is what it's going to take, and I have to do it whether I'm depressed or not, or whether I'm happy or not, or whatever it is. You know, you got to push through it to see the end goal and get rid of your excuses, discipline yourself, and push yourself to that end goal and get to that point.
I think at one point when I was really working hard on Dankrite, I had this mentality where all that I cared about was that it didn't last the whole time, but all I cared about was that I was going to work on an Amazon show, and that meant I was going to get connections, which meant maybe someday I was going to get to make a show of my own, you know? Maybe one day I would get to make whatever I want. But somewhere along the line, I kind of realized, and before even it fell under, and I had to reevaluate, but once I did fall under, it kind of just doubled down on my belief that you have to enjoy, or at least learn to enjoy what you're doing.
Right.
Or at the very least, change your outlook on life. If you're going in every day and you're miserable, like, sometimes it's out of your control. Sometimes... I think that having just like an end goal be the end all be all, like having a goal of I'm gonna be an animator or whatever.
Right.
If that doesn't happen, what next? Like, you're ruined, you know? For me, it became a thing personally of like, I might never get to that point no matter how hard I work. I'm gonna keep working as hard as I can. But my motivation became, I like what I'm doing, and I'm having fun doing it, and I'm making stuff, and that just became good enough for me at some point.
Absolutely.
And when that happened, I felt a whole mentality shift. Because now when Dankrite went under, it was still stressful. I still lost my job. I still was like, I don't have this Amazon deal that was going to be like beneficial in a lot of ways. But it became more a thing. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. It wasn't devastating because I still can just work on my stuff, and whether that's for 8 hours a day or 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day because it's a busy day, you know,
Right.
even if I only get like 10 minutes to sneak off and do it on my own, I at least know that I'm going to have fun when I'm doing that.
Right.
And when that happened, I feel like I became like a different person in a lot of ways. I feel like I don't stress as much. I'm not always... I still feel motivated to want to do stuff like the animation thing.
Right.
Now that I've got this animation, I'm just going to enjoy the hell out of it and do it until it's completed, you know? When it's completed, I can look back and be like, that was a great thing I did. And even if nobody likes it, I had fun making it.
You enjoyed
and
it.
I learned what not to do and I learned what I should do. And I'll have no regrets, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
I used to like look back at things I'd worked on and be like, this is terrible for this reason, like this form's all wrong, or like the colors are wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I can look at things and be like, I'm glad I did that because now I know not to use this shade of orange with this shade of pink, or I know not to draw the tricep like that, you know?
Absolutely,
and I'm like,
yeah.
and I still had fun doing it either
Absolutely.
way.
You enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I think that's something
Enjoying
that
the
helped
process.
me. That's something that helped me
Huge.
at least.
It's huge, yep.
But that's not to say get rid of goals. You should always have goals, I believe.
Me personally, I am... You know, I'm a happy person. I enjoy life. I enjoy everything I do, but I am never satisfied. I'm just not. I have big dreams, and I'm going to achieve them, and I'm not satisfied with myself that I haven't achieved them. It's not like, oh, I'm sad, you know, oh, I hate myself, anything like that. It's just I'm not 100%, you know, complete. You know, like I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied.
I get that.
And I'm never going to be satisfied, I don't think. So I want to constantly push for more. Whether that's small things like, you know, going to the gym, or finishing stuff on my car, or getting more sleep, or whatever it is that I'm aiming towards at the time. But, you know, I'm never going to be satisfied because I know I could always do more.
Will you let him in again? Maybe he'll come in this time.
Bastard kid.
I was going to ask, with that mentality, Kelson, do you think that we can ever just die happy?
I'll die happy. Like I said, I'm a happy person. So I'll die happy, absolutely, but I know that I'm not satisfied with my work and what I have. I know that I can always have more, and not necessarily materialistically, but, you know, physically, what I'm doing with myself. I want more for myself, physically, mentally, whatever it might be, you know, knowledge-wise. Knowledge is power, knowledge is great. Knowledge makes you a happier person half the time. So absolutely, I'm going to be unsatisfied till the day I die. But I know I'm going to be happy. I'll be happy. I'll be content-ish.
That's good.
Content enough that I'm not going to be like, oh, well, this is fucking stupid. You know, when I'm on my deathbed and I'm having my heart attack or stroke or whatever the fuck it is, I'll be sitting there like, damn, like, you know, that was crazy, but, you know, I did all right. You know, I'm happy with what I did. You know, and I'll be content. I'll be that.
I think that's good. I think it's a good mentality to have, you know.
I mean, I'm always happy.
Yeah.
There's very little that gets me down.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You gotta find your own mentality, your own way to make peace with whatever's going on in the world right now, you know.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, I think it's a good outlook for you. Honestly, it sounds like the one that fits you best.
Yeah.
Keeps you feeling pretty happy all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, not all the time.
Makes me feel like I'm moving.
Yeah, it makes you feel
Doing
like
something.
you're moving. Yeah, I feel that. Like, I feel like I'm a little at odds with my mentality sometimes because I definitely will have times where I'll have a goal in mind and I get a little bummed if that goal doesn't happen, you know, and then I'm like, but at the end of the day I can still be like, you know, whatever. I learned what not to do for the next one, you know.
Right. For me, I figure out problem solving. I try and figure out a solution to the problem, whatever it might be.
That being said, I still am like, I've got like one project in mind, and if I don't finish it before I die, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I'll be dead, but like, I'm like, I need to finish this before I die,
Right.
you know? Yeah, well, we'll get there someday. With learning animation, at least it's closer.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm getting all sniffy now, you know. Is it Doug's fault? Might be Doug's fault.
Blaming Doug, dude.
They could probably hear him screaming out there, too.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll put a little time stamp in for Doug screaming. Look, you're freaking him out. He's like, what the fuck? He thought we brought home another cat for a minute there.
Probably.
He's like, Brenda brought home another cat.
Yeah. Another one, dude?
Again?
Again?
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing particularly, no.
No, see, I don't.
I think I got a decent amount out. I mean, I could sit and talk about work ethic and what I think people should do, but you know,
Yeah.
it's not going to benefit anybody.
I'm interested in what you think you should do. That's what I like to hear.
What I think.
Yeah. I like hearing about your work ethic. I think your work ethic is interesting, you know. I like yours.
Yeah, the whole thing of working hard, you know, it's very real.
Yeah.
Not necessarily show up to a job and work 25 hours a day,
Yeah, but
8 days a week, you know, but I mean, work very hard to whatever you're trying to benefit yourself in, whether it's, you know, gaining more information and knowledge to benefit yourself within your finances or your personal diet or you know, more information about physics, whatever it is, you know. I mean constantly work towards something of that nature. Definitely I think you know, you pursue something like that consistently and push towards it, and that is where discipline comes into play, because you don't always want to push towards it, but if you consistently push towards it, you're always going to be bettering yourself. You're going to better yourself mentally, physically, yada yada yada, down the road, whatever. You're going to continue to benefit yourself and push yourself to where you need to be. I think working hard towards all that and constantly putting yourself under pressure of, you know, I need to read, I need to eat this, I need to, you know, go to the gym, I need to get this many hours of sleep, I need to do this at least this many hours a day, or this much time a day. I think that is huge. And if you just hit a point and you're like, well, I'll just sit on the couch and whatever. I do that. I know I do that, and that's something that upsets me at times.
yeah.
And I don't, you know, verbally say it or anything or show it, but, you know, it upsets me. Yeah, I mean, beyond that, I mean, it's all discipline. When you get down to the basics. I mean, if you want something, discipline yourself and push yourself to it. You don't always want to do it, but you know what it's going to take to get there, and do it, because that's what it takes. You know, you have to do the shitty stuff. You got to eat dirt and fucking whatever in order to get to being a billionaire. You know.
Yeah. If you can, even if you hate your job, I think you can try to make every moment into a learning experience in some way.
Absolutely.
Be SpongeBob at your job if you can.
Exactly. Laugh all the time. Hold your spatula up. Call it a day.
Nobody likes a Squidward.
Nobody does.
Nobody likes a Squidward, as they say.
Everybody wants to be a Mr. Krabs, though.
That's true. Yeah. Have a hot daughter and all that.
Exactly.
Anyways, I think that was all I had to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I
Well,
have to put more bullet points to write down what I think.
we'll come back to it at some point if we ever want to.
Over yonder in the future, maybe.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to say before we cut it off?
No, not particularly. I'm tired.
Yeah, me too. I had one beer. I'm whooped. I'm whooped, dude. Ooh, my ass is beat. All right.
Fuck, that's like a 0.3 on the alcoholic fucking beverage scale, dude.
Fuck, what is this, 1%? Oh my god.
Dude, you're twisted right now, baby.
Okay, anyways, goodbye.
Adios.